Listen closely, chosen one, because what you're about to hear is not coincidence, it's confirmation. You've been through a season that tested everything inside you. The battles weren't random. The losses weren't meaningless. Every silent night, every moment where it felt like heaven was quiet. It was all part of a divine examination. And now the results are in you past. You didn't just survive, you proved faithful. You stayed kind when bitterness called your name. You kept praying when your strength ran out. You loved people who didn't love you back, forgave those who betrayed you, and believed even when your heart was breaking. Heaven took note of every moment, and now the same God who watched you endure is preparing to elevate you. You see, this isn't just another message. This is a divine announcement. Your promotion season has begun. The test was never about what you lost. It was about what you learned. It wasn't about proving your worth. It was about refining your character. You've been through the fire, and the fire didn't destroy you. It purified you. God says, you have been tested, and you have been found faithful. Now I can trust you with more. The warfare around you lately wasn't punishment. It was proof that you were being weighed for promotion. The silence, the setbacks, the sudden separations, all of them were heaven's way of preparing the stage for what comes next. You're about to see why the last season hurt so deeply. You're about to understand why certain doors closed, why certain people faded, and why you had to walk alone. Because now the crown that was forged in private is about to be placed upon you in public. The test was temporary, but the promotion will be permanent. So don't move, don't scroll away, and don't doubt this word. Something sacred is being released even now. And by the end of this message, you'll know without question that this word was meant for you. Because heaven has made its decision. You passed the test, and God is about to promote you. The silence you felt was not neglect, it was divine observation. While you wondered if heaven had forgotten, heaven was watching closely, measuring the posture of your heart when no one else could see. Every unseen decision, the times you chose peace instead of revenge, the moments you stayed humble when pride could have spoken, was a note in heaven's record. You were not being ignored. You were being evaluated for responsibility. Promotion in the kingdom is not granted through noise, it's proven through endurance. And that's what you've shown. There are seasons where God steps back, not to leave, but to witness. To see if your love is still sincere when the blessings pause. To see if you can still worship when the spotlight fades. To see if your faith is real when the reward disappears. You've walked through that divine silence and emerged with integrity intact. That's why this message found you. It's a divine report card, heaven's way of saying, you have been tested and you are trustworthy. Because the truth is, your promotion was not delayed, it was developing. Had it come earlier, it would have crushed you. But now, after the testing, it will crown you. Every hardship taught you discernment. Every betrayal taught you boundaries. Every delay taught you patience. And every lonely night taught you how to depend on God without needing confirmation from man. You didn't just pass the test, you were transformed by it. Now, heaven's language shifts from silence to command. Angels who once stood in observation now stand in assignment. The divine order has been spoken. Release the next chapter. In the unseen courtroom of heaven, decisions have been made concerning your destiny. Papers have been signed in your favor. The season that once felt like confinement is about to become a launching pad. But understand, God's promotion doesn't always look glamorous. Sometimes it begins quietly, like the faint light of dawn. It starts with an inner knowing before it manifests in the outer world. You'll feel it first, that surge of peace, that calm confidence before doors start opening. That's how divine timing works. It begins in the spirit and then reveals itself in the natural. So if you're sensing that subtle shift, that strange stillness that feels both peaceful and powerful, It's not imagination. It's alignment. You've reached the divine threshold where testing ends and trust begins. And now the one who watched your faith in the shadows is about to reward you in the light. It begins quietly, not with trumpets, but with awareness. One morning you'll wake up and the air will feel different. The weight that once pressed against your chest will lift. The constant resistance that followed you will fade. It will be as if something invisible has shifted in your favor. That's how heaven moves subtly at first, then suddenly. This is what's being released now, a season of divine elevation. You are stepping into a realm where what resisted you will begin to recognize you. The same doors that refused to open before will now respond, because your spirit carries new authority. Heaven is promoting you. But this isn't the kind of promotion that man can orchestrate. This is the kind only God can give, the kind no jealousy can cancel and no opposition can stop. The prophecy is simple, but its power is profound. I am establishing you, says the Lord. Not merely blessing, but establishing, giving you roots that can withstand both wind and weight. In your last season, you were a seed beneath the soil, hidden, pressed, and unseen. You mistook that darkness for death, but it was incubation. Every tear you cried watered that seed. Every disappointment broke the shell so new life could emerge. Now the ground is breaking open. You're rising not because you forced it, but because the timing demanded it. The pressure that once held you down has become the force that's pushing you upward. Your name will begin to travel into rooms you've never entered. Opportunities will begin to seek you without effort. People who once dismissed you will remember you without reason. This is not coincidence, it's recompense. Because heaven keeps perfect accounts. The years you spent in silence were not wasted. They were recorded as investment. And now God is releasing the return favor for every hidden tear grace, for every private struggle authority, for every silent victory. You will notice a divine acceleration. Things that used to take years will begin to unfold in weeks. Relationships will realign. Delays will dissolve. Battles will end with unexpected peace. But most importantly, your voice will carry new power. When you speak, your words will not just sound different, they will carry weight. That's what spiritual promotion looks like. It's not just about being seen. It's about being sent. And this is what heaven is doing with you now, commissioning you. So don't downplay what's happening. Don't question the sudden ease after years of struggle. You're not lucky, you're qualified. This is what the testing was for. This is why you were isolated. This is why you had to face closed doors and unanswered prayers. Because God was preparing you for influence that requires endurance. Now, as you stand in this moment of unveiling, understand this truth. The same eyes that watched you fall will witness you rise. And the same God who tested you is now trusting you. You are stepping into your promotion, not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Every divine promotion begins in the invisible. Before the throne elevates you, the fire refines you. Before the crown rests upon your head, the cross shapes your back. That's the divine order testing before trusting wilderness, before promise silence, before sound. You see, God never tests you to expose weakness. He tests you to reveal strength. The test doesn't come to shame you. It comes to show you what was hidden within you all along. Just as gold is purified through fire, the chosen are purified through trial. What you've endured wasn't to destroy you, it was to distill you. The season of testing was heaven's classroom. And though the lessons were hard, you learned them well. Every unanswered prayer taught you endurance. Every delay trained you in patience. Every betrayal refined your discernment. Every moment of lack taught you dependence on divine provision. You weren't being punished, you were being prepared. Because in the kingdom, promotion is not given to the talented. It's entrusted to the tested. And that's what makes your story sacred. Think of Joseph sitting in prison for crimes he never committed. His test wasn't about guilt, it was about growth. Think of David anointed as king, yet chased by the very one he was meant to replace. His test wasn't about survival, it was about stewardship. Think of Esther, hidden among many, chosen in silence, tested in secrecy before standing before the throne. Her test wasn't about beauty, it was about boldness. And just like them, your test was divine strategy. God was forming in you the character to carry what He's about to place upon you. If He had blessed you earlier, pride might have taken root. If He had opened the door sooner, you wouldn't have been strong enough to stand in it. So He held you back not to hurt you, but to anchor you. You had to learn that identity is not built in applause, but in alignment. You had to understand that value is not proven by visibility, but by obedience. You had to feel the pain of rejection, so that when acceptance comes, it doesn't redefine you. This is the hidden language of heaven, the sacred exchange between testing and trust. Every trial was heaven's vote of confidence. God only tests those He intends to trust with more. The greater the assignment, the heavier the examination. And your test was evidence of divine endorsement. That's why even when others didn't understand your pain, heaven applauded your perseverance. You didn't know it, but while you were crying on earth, angels were standing in reverence. Because your endurance became worship, your faith became fragrance, your stillness became strength. And now the fragrance of your faith has reached the throne. The test proved one thing, that your foundation is unshakable. Storms came, but you didn't collapse. People left, but you didn't compromise. You stayed faithful when it was hardest to believe, and that's what made heaven decide now. Now is the time for manifestation. Now is the moment when what was spiritual becomes visible. Now is when everything you've learned will begin to bear fruit. You've transitioned from being a student of faith to being a steward of purpose. The lessons are over. The commission begins. And what's remarkable is this: your promotion isn't just about you. When God elevates one person, it's never for their comfort, it's for impact. There are lives waiting on the other side of your obedience. There are souls assigned to your testimony. Your endurance has unlocked grace for others who will come behind you. That's why you had to go through first, so you could guide others through next. The spiritual meaning of your test is bigger than blessing. It's legacy. You've become a living message that faith works, that obedience matters, that waiting is not wasted. And this is what heaven wants you to understand. Your promotion is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of your assignment. You've graduated from the wilderness, and now you carry authority to lead others out of theirs. This is the sacred exchange. The tested becoming the teacher, the survivor becoming the sign, the wounded becoming the healer. So when God says you passed the test, He's not just congratulating you, He's commissioning you. He's saying, now that you've been faithful with little, I can trust you with much. And from this point forward, your faith will not just sustain you, it will speak for you. You'll begin to notice it, subtle sacred shifts that whisper, something's changing. Heaven rarely announces promotion with noise. It reveals it through signs that only the sensitive can discern. These signs don't come to entertain your curiosity, they come to confirm your alignment. The first sign is inner peace after warfare. For months, your spirit felt agitated, heavy, restless, uncertain. But lately, a quiet calm has settled in. You can't explain it yet. You feel it, the storm within has stilled. That peace is not random. It's evidence that heaven has moved. The battle has ended in the spirit, even if your eyes haven't seen the victory yet. The second sign is divine detachment. People, places, and patterns that once felt essential begin to fade from your focus. It's not bitterness, it's clarity. You no longer feel the urge to fight for what no longer fits. That's how God makes room for what's coming. The detachment is holy. It's heaven removing the unnecessary, so your hands are free to receive the new. The third sign is unusual favor. Doors begin to open in ways that surprise you. A call comes unexpectedly. A new opportunity appears that seems tailor-made for you. These moments may seem small, but they're prophetic markers, heaven's gentle nods that say, yes, this is the way. Keep walking. The fourth sign is reversal energy. Things that used to resist you suddenly start to flow. Where there was delay, there's acceleration. Where there was confusion, there's clarity. You'll notice situations that once drained you now deliver breakthrough with ease. That shift isn't coincidence, it's divine rearrangement. The fifth sign is confirmation through repetition. You'll start hearing the same message everywhere through sermons, songs, conversations, or even random videos. It's as if the same sentence keeps echoing. You're ready. It's time you've passed. That repetition isn't random. It's heaven's echo. When something keeps coming back to you, it's not a reminder, it's an instruction. And finally, the sixth sign, perhaps the most powerful, is renewed vision. You'll wake up with fresh energy and ideas that once felt dormant. Dreams that once seemed dead will begin to breathe again. That creative stirring, that divine inspiration, that sudden boldness. Those are not new desires, they are resurrected callings. Each of these signs appears not to impress you, but to reassure you. They say, the test is complete. The shift has begun. Don't overthink them, just recognize them. Because once heaven promotes you, the physical world begins to align with what your spirit already knows. And as these signs unfold, remember, they're not an invitation to strive. They're confirmation to rest. The door that God opens for you now will not require manipulation, exhaustion, or chasing. It will open smoothly, quietly, and undeniably, because it's yours. You've entered the season where proof follows peace. The testing season has ended. The confirmation season has begun. Every promotion carries a weight not to crush you, but to strengthen you for what's next. Elevation exposes you to new light, and new light always reveals new shadows. That's why the moment heaven announces promotion, the enemy begins to whisper, "Are you sure?" Doubt will try to creep in quietly, not to destroy your blessing, but to delay your confidence. Because if the enemy can make you question your worthiness, he can make you postpone your readiness. So understand this, the first hidden challenge after divine promotion is the battle of identity. You will suddenly feel waves of self-doubt, moments where you ask, "Can I really carry this?" But that's not humility. That's spiritual warfare in disguise. The same God who tested you now trusts you. The only voice questioning your ability is the one intimidated by your authority. The second challenge is spiritual fatigue. You've fought so long that even peace can feel strange. You'll find yourself restless, trying to brace for another battle, not realizing the war has shifted. This is the moment where you must relearn rest. You're no longer fighting for survival. You're learning to dwell in stability. God is teaching you to live in blessing without guilt and to stand in favor without fear. The third challenge is unexpected resistance. When new light shines, not everyone celebrates it. Some will question your rise. Others will misunderstand your transformation. But don't let their confusion become your distraction. God didn't promote you for validation. He promoted you for purpose. Some relationships were seasonal, and when you ascend, they'll naturally fall away. That's not loss, that's pruning. The fourth challenge is spiritual warfare disguised as opportunity. Not every open door is divine. Some are distractions dressed as destiny. In this new level, discernment must become your compass. If a door requires you to sacrifice your peace, your integrity, or your intimacy with God, it's not from Him. Remember, the same serpent that tempted Eve still uses beautiful fruit. Don't be rushed by appearance. Be guided by peace. And the fifth challenge, perhaps the most subtle, is the temptation to return to old versions of yourself. There will be moments when comfort calls you back to the familiar, when your new strength feels foreign. But this is where you must stand firm. You've outgrown that season. You can't shrink to fit where you no longer belong. Your elevation will test your discipline more than your desire. This time, obedience will sustain you more than enthusiasm. So guard your focus. Guard your time. Guard your spirit. Because the same faith that carried you through testing must now carry you through triumph. And know this, these challenges don't mean you've done something wrong. They mean you've stepped into something right. You're no longer wrestling in the dark. You're learning to walk in light. Hold steady. The resistance is proof of your relevance. You've crossed into a new spiritual dimension, and every ounce of pressure now is simply heaven, strengthening your foundation for what's about to expand. Now that the test is behind you and the promotion has begun, heaven releases instruction. Because every new level requires a new rhythm, and this next season isn't about striving, it's about stewardship. You see, when God elevates you, the greatest danger isn't losing the blessing, it's mishandling it. That's why heaven always gives strategy before manifestation. Here's what the Spirit is saying for this next chapter. 1. Guard your atmosphere. You've been entrusted with peace, don't trade it cheaply. Not every conversation deserves your energy. Not every invitation deserves your presence. You can't step into promotion carrying the noise of your last season. Silence will become your shield. Stillness will become your strategy. Where once you fought to prove yourself, now you simply move in proof. The greatest evidence of divine promotion is peace that no one can explain. Keep it sacred. Protect it fiercely. 2. Maintain humility in elevation. God promotes the humble because humility keeps heaven close. Remember, you didn't climb here, you were carried here. The moment pride whispers, you did this, pause, and remember how many nights you wept. How many prayers went unanswered before suddenly everything aligned. Heaven resists arrogance but multiplies grace to those who stay low. Your humility will become your preservation. 3. Continue to sow in silence. The world will tell you to announce every move, but heaven moves differently. You are entering a realm where secrecy is safety. Let your results make the announcement. God is saying, the more I elevate you, the quieter you must become, because revelation requires protection. Not everyone who claps for you carries clean hands. Let discernment choose your audience, and wisdom choose your words. 4. Keep your altar burning. Testing built your endurance. Promotion will test your intimacy. It's easy to seek God when you're desperate, but now seek Him because you're devoted. Make space daily for the presence, not out of obligation, but out of gratitude. You don't need long, fancy prayers, just consistent connection. Worship will stabilize what success could otherwise shake. The same fire that kept you alive in the wilderness must keep you humble in the palace. 5. Be generous with grace. You will now meet others who are where you once were, confused, overlooked, struggling. Don't forget how it felt to be unseen. Your promotion isn't a platform for pride. It's a pulpit for compassion. Encourage them, lift them, remind them that delay is not denial. The true mark of promotion is when your success starts healing others. 6. Move when heaven moves, not before, not after. There will be opportunities that look good but feel wrong. Wait for peace. You are no longer in the season of chasing. You are in the season of being chosen. Divine timing is your ally. When the door is right, it will open with no strain. When the season is right, it will unfold without effort. Your job is no longer to force, it's to flow. 7. Stay anchored in gratitude. You passed the test because you remained thankful even when it hurt. Now let gratitude remain your daily garment. Every morning speak it. I remember when I prayed for this. Gratitude keeps pride silent and favor flowing. This is your spiritual instruction manual for this new chapter. Protect your peace. Stay humble. Guard your altar. Move with wisdom. And above all, remember who brought you here. You are stepping into a season where your obedience will attract opportunities faster than your ambition ever could. This isn't about chasing blessing anymore. It's about becoming blessing. You're not just walking into promotion. You're walking into purpose. And as long as your heart remains surrendered, no power on earth or in hell can stop what's been decreed over you. Heaven has shifted your name from being tested to being trusted. So walk carefully but confidently, for this new level is holy ground. Now that heaven has elevated you, understand this promotion does not remove warfare. It redefines it. But this time you won't fight the same way. The battles will still form, but they will no longer have permission to touch your peace. There is a divine covering around you now, not imagined, but real. Every test you passed built a layer of protection. Every tear you shed became oil on your shield. Every moment you kept faith forged light in your atmosphere. You've become spiritually armored without even realizing it. Where you once walked trembling, you now walk surrounded. Heaven has assigned angelic guardrails to your destiny. They've been positioned not only around you, but ahead of you. Before you step into any new space, divine forces are already preparing the ground. Every trap is being exposed, every scheme intercepted, every hidden snare dissolved before it can reach you. That's why the Lord says, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." Notice he didn't promise weapons wouldn't form. He promised they wouldn't succeed. When jealousy rises, it will fall back on itself. When lies are spoken, truth will vindicate you. When old enemies plot, they'll find confusion in their own camp. You won't need to defend yourself. Heaven will speak for you. This next season will be marked by unexplainable peace in unpredictable places. Even in environments that once drained you, you'll notice a new calm, a strange serenity that doesn't make sense. That's divine insulation, God wrapping your spirit in stillness so external storms can't disturb your center. And this protection isn't just external, it's internal. He's healing you from the fears of the last season, the anxiety of waiting, the wounds of rejection, the exhaustion of endurance. Where there was fragmentation, he's weaving restoration. Where there was trauma, he's rewriting trust. Your heart is being recalibrated to believe again freely, safely, fully. Understand this truth: you are no longer fragile. You were fragile when you were fighting for survival. But now you're fortified by grace. Your prayers are stronger. Your discernment is sharper. Your spirit carries weight. This is why you can walk forward without fear. You're not walking unprotected, you're walking escorted. Even when you feel alone, heaven is active. Even when you can't sense God, he's closer than he's ever been. The silence that once felt empty is now sacred, quiet, divine presence in disguise. So breathe easy. Rest deeply. Because the God who tested you is the same God who now guards you. You've been promoted into promise, and heaven never sends someone forward without surrounding them first. From this moment forward, walk with assurance. You are covered, you are carried, and you are kept. And now, the moment that was spoken in secret is about to be seen in public. The hidden work has reached its unveiling. The same hands that once trembled in testing now hold the mantle of transformation. You'll feel it before you see it, that quiet sense of becoming. You're no longer the same soul who entered the storm. You walk differently now, lighter yet stronger. You speak differently, slower, but with weight. There's a depth in your eyes that only endurance can create. This is what fulfillment looks like when your spirit begins to glow from the inside out. You used to wonder if all those lonely nights meant anything. Now you realize they built the backbone of your faith. You used to question why the process had to break you. Now you see that breaking wasn't punishment, it was birth. Every loss was labor. Every silence was shaping. Every delay was divine choreography. The old version of you, the fearful, uncertain one, has been buried in the same soil that grew your strength. You've graduated from waiting to walking, from hoping to holding, from dreaming to doing. Heaven didn't just promote you to a higher level, it transformed you into a higher being. The same spirit that sustained you is now flowing through you. You'll start to notice that your presence carries peace. When you enter a room, heaviness will lift. When you speak, clarity will come. That's not coincidence, it's consequence. The oil that was pressed from your pain is now anointing others through your presence. You've become what you once prayed for, the living proof that God restores, redeems, and raises. This is the fulfillment of every unseen season when your scars start shining. Doors will open now, not because you knock harder, but because you are the key. People will begin to notice something different about you, but they won't be able to name it. That's because it's not a look, it's a light. It's divine distinction, the mark of someone heaven has trusted. The transformation is deeper than success, it's identity. You no longer chase approval because you've been approved by God Himself. You no longer seek validation because your value has been verified through trial. Everything in your life will begin to align with that truth. Relationships will flow with purpose. Work will carry meaning. Even the small things, morning light, laughter, stillness, will feel holy again. Because this isn't just the end of a trial, it's the beginning of your testimony. What once was pain is now platform. What once was rejection is now redirection. What once was waiting is now walking in promise. And through it all, you'll know this was never about arrival. It was about awakening. You didn't just pass a test, you discovered who you were always meant to be. You've entered the stage of fulfillment, not through force, but through faith. And from this point on, everything you touch, build, and speak will carry the fragrance of divine completion. The glory is here. The fruit has come forth. The harvest is ready. This is your moment of divine confirmation, your spiritual well done. You've become the message God intended to write through your life. And now the same heaven that once tested you stands applauding, whispering into your spirit, "Behold the one who was faithful over little. I now make ruler over much." This is your transformation. This is your fulfillment. And it begins now. Take a deep breath. Feel the stillness around you. That calm isn't emptiness. It's heaven resting upon your life. What once was warfare has turned into worship. What once was pressure has become presence. The test is complete. The promotion is here. And your story has officially shifted from pain to purpose. From this day forward, speak this truth over yourself, not as hope, but as identity, because heaven has already signed it in your favor. Affirmation 1. I am no longer being tested, I am being trusted. Every trial shaped me for this moment. I no longer question the process. I carry peace in every step, knowing I am prepared for what's ahead. Affirmation 2. I walk in divine promotion. Opportunities will find me. Doors will open without striving. My steps are aligned with God's timing, and my path is protected by His light. Affirmation 3. I am covered, called, and chosen. No weapon formed against me will prosper. No lie will define me. No storm will stop me. The hand of God rests upon my life, and His favor goes before me. Affirmation 4. I move in purpose and peace. I don't chase. I attract what heaven sends. I don't force. I flow in divine rhythm. I don't fear the future. I walk boldly into it, for God has already gone before me. Now, let this blessing seal the word over your spirit. May the fire that refined you never leave you. May the peace that sustained you never fade from you. May every lesson of your past become oil for your destiny. And may you carry heaven's authority with gentleness, wisdom, and grace. Wherever you walk, may divine favor follow. Wherever you speak, may divine truth echo. And wherever you rest, may divine angels guard your peace. You have passed the test. You have proven faithful. And the one who watched your tears now calls your name. This is your time. This is your turn. This is your promotion. Walk in confidence, chosen one. The old has passed. The new has begun. Heaven has already opened the door. Now it's your time to step through.